This is a voiceover, so sorry if there's random quiet. I hope I recorded the audio so it's not pure understimuli mess. But, Macarena. Hey, Macarena. Hey, Macarena. Yeah. But, overall, I have, been playing this game for quite a while, and I just recently lost all of my data, and I was like, why not come along for the, adventure? Because why not? And as you can see, I only have 2 bots, mechs, whatever, which isn't necessarily the best, but it's whatever. And yeah, I'm not gonna spend money on any of this like real life money, but like it's occasionally tempting, for that Cardinal Rule skin and mobile suit. I'm just saying. But again, I can still get Ares either way, so, Also, a lot in this game looks different. Like, I could have sworn the older models weren't, like, all sharp and stuff. Like, Arachnos, say she looks the exact same, but everybody else different to me, at least. It's like they reworked them, like, so that's weird. I don't really like that. I like their old designs. Luckily, you just automatically unlock their epic classic skins, so that's nice. Also, I feel like all the mechs have some type of inhuman leg, which, don't get me wrong, I love Digigrade and reverse Digigrade legs and spider legs, but like, I don't know. I remember, I feel like at least one of the main 5 had like, oh god, Braveheart, had human legs, or at least humanoid legs, like that aren't like Digigrade or anything. And as you can see, I'm rusty, but basically this is gonna be a daily series where I make progress in order to get Arachnos. And once I get Arachnos, then I will basically be able to, sort things out with basically everything. And by everything, I mean get my old team back. Which I will not tell you who it consisted of, because I like the surprise. And also, as you can see, I am still in the tutorial. I did not realize that. When there's only players with numbers in your lobbies, like no one else, then that's how you know that you're in a bot lobby, or a tutorial lobby. And I also think if you lose, you don't, like progress, so I think you gotta do it again, so I'm sorry for like the 5 people's days that I ruined. Sorry, man, genuinely. But since I don't know what to talk about, all I will just get one of my pre-existing ramble audios, or see if I can find one just to kind of fill in the void. Dun dun dun. I appear to have nothing pre-recorded. Fun. So I might as well try to persistently ramble, maybe. Okay. So, I'll tell you about the thing. Yeah, I did.
Humiliation.
I don't really. I really don't know what to talk about. Oh yeah, if I ever mention any GoBot characters, assume that they are either not GoBots or they are GoBots. I will not, you know. But, the whole thing about the, beloved little
Smooth operator.
Zuby,
You have 2 minutes remaining.
fucking idiot. That are the GoBots is that they have this whole thing where they don't actually transform like a normal transformer. They actually shift their parts. They don't really have a alt mode in their lexicon.
Unstoppable.
More of just like, let me
You have 1 minute.
on the side of the road. Cause, fucking feel like it. What the fuck is it to you? And overall, that's how that generally worked, I suppose. Yeah. And, also, for the sake of yes, remember Muzzle. Just remember him. Remember me. Remember me. Remember me. And, yeah, overall, I don't have a lot to talk about. I've gotten a lot of lore off of my chest. I'm trying to work on some extra lore, but otherwise I don't really have anything to really talk about. As much as I do to exist about, frankly. So, yeah. There's, something. And, yeah, the whole generalized thing with my AU is that Zepcons are a faction of demons, and, well, they aren't a faction of demons. They're, a faction that started out as demons and then eventually got more and more dudes. Just dudes. Nothing special. Just dudes. I mean, what's wrong with dudes, man? And the Autobots formed when, oh god, I forget. What is her name? Oh, yeah, well, not her. I mean, Overprime in my AU is a girl, but I can't fucking help it. But, yeah. Wait, give me a second. Oh, hey, look, I got a new gun that I have had for a while in my past experiences. Shotgun isn't really that good unless you're playing a literal tank, not just like a metaphorical tank, like a literal tank. Somebody who can take a pounding. Also, you know how Sharkticons in the movie Rodimus breaks their teeth by punching their nose? Well, yeah, that's actually where their nose connects. That's where their entire jaw connects. So, if you bust open their nose, yeah, they kind of just, break, for lack of better terminology. That is their biggest weakness, hence why they have it padded in purple layers. Yeah, that's the reason it's purple. Yeah. Also, the Dinobots are, actually part of the divine faction of the Optimus. And, not the character Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is actually named after the faction in my AU. Optimus, as in faction, was part of the Malignus. It was the parody of Malignus, and just because I felt like making these factions unique, and I was too lazy to figure out a better way. And I wanted to rebase this. I was lazy, but I felt like it.
Let's get things started.
I, thus far, decided that the Malignus were made by the Zodiac, and the Optimus were made by Devil Z. And then they were like, wait a minute, let me switch this around. And thus far, henceforth, that was the reality of the situation. So yeah. Also, Contestant ballots in the sword don't actually fully print Decepticons. Sorry, not Decepticons, but the ballots are just kind of like, you really think about it? I guess with them. And that's kind of how it works with all of them, actually. That is, yeah. So the Quintessence Balor and the Alimon are all quite weakable pieces. And also, I actually wanted to discuss it. I leave it to joke and make Galaxy Shuttle a upgrade of Jazz, or should I make them a Guardian of Gaia upgrade of Astro Train? Of course, you know, none of this will be finalized until like oh, I saw something. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that. Okay, I saw something absolutely awful. I never want to see that again. Goodbye. But, aside from me almost wanting to barf and belch, I also wanted to state that the Alicons and Sharkticons will never get along. And I mean never. There is not a world where they get along. There will never be a world where they get along. They will always hate each other.
You have 2 minutes remaining.
There is no ands, ifs, or buts. It is physically coded into him. It is coded into the species, and that is just that. Also, speaking of species code, Warpath actually isn't a Cybertronian, but he also isn't a Combatronian, or a Combatron. He also isn't from any Cybertronian-esque species. He is actually a null form that was like, man, fuck this. I don't want to deal with any of this bullshit. And then he kind of just went around. And then, okay, so basically, explain. The null forms basically guard the underbase. And what I mean by guard the underbase is, the underbase is, of course, the Citadel of Knowledge. Most people should know this. Emphasis on should. I'm not shaming you if you don't.
3, 2,
but
1,
I'm saying that
go.
most people, especially people who enjoy the Marvel comics, should generally know who this guy is and what this guy is in general. Which, I mean, I don't necessarily I just want to make him seem intricate to himself only, you know? And, speaking of being to himself only, you know that, giant gun that he's always associated for, and frankly never shouldn't be associated without? Well, you see, I'm going off of his super edified Nazi design, where he has missile pods on every single inch of him. Oh, also I'm going with the Transformers Universe design, but I'm changing all of the, sand highlights to black and white highlights, so, that's how he looks in my view. So, yeah. And also, the reason why it has these shoulder spikes is not for intimidation factor. It is not for burial factor. It's because he was like, you know what? If I'm ever gonna get a statue as a warrior, I wanna look badass. So that's why he kind of looks like cliche cool dude. And also, he doesn't actually have a face. Yeah, I kind of just put the edgelord into him, didn't I? But like, he physically doesn't have a face. He doesn't have eyes, he doesn't have a face. But, his visor actually dims, and his, mask slits light up. Instead of, you know, the mask slits just lighting up, they actually also, dim his optics. Which also Transformers who don't have, facial stuff, like, you know, facial indicators of, like, their mouth or their expression usually have a moving mask that usually moves like a normal face would, hence like the weird Beast Wars animation. Where like some characters just had fully static heads, but they moved it around and stretched it like it was a mouth, kind of like those weird Mario things, except I think I don't actually, quote me on this if I'm wrong, but didn't that Mario game come after Beast Wars, or am I dumb? Wait, let me see. When did September? Oh, they came out in the same year. But, in America, Europe, in Japan in June, in North America in September. Okay, so both of them released in September in the United States, but if we're going off of their original release, Super Mario does predate, Super Mario 64 does predate, Transformers Beast Wars, but I don't actually know if it's the game with the face stretchy mini game. Like, I don't know. Let me actually see. What Mario game has the face stretching game?
One, go.
Oh yeah, okay, Super Mario 64. So I was. They're on the cusp of each other. And yeah. Also, September 16th is the birthday of Beast Wars, which I like. I like the fact that, you know, we're getting more Beast Wars. And also, God, the concept models were hideous. Honestly though, I do like the mutant heads. Rhinox's mutant head barely looks different, although Optimus Primal's long gangly arms are horrifying. And I'm sorry, but it looks like concept model Cheetor just has backwards heels. Rat Shrap looks basically the same. I'm not gonna lie to you. Megatron's head is about as big as his nuts and his schlong. Pterosaur, to me, looks completely different. Tarantulas looks fairly unchanged, and oh, ew, Waspinator, hell. Scorponok is pretty decent. I mean, he just kind of looks like Scorponok, but in dark colors. Dinobot. I'm not saying it's a bad design, but the way they wrote him seems more like this would be either an old grizzled war veteran Grimlock or a or did I say Grimlock? I meant Dinobot. God, I'm dumb. You know what I mean. I don't even need to, you know. But also Transformers who feed on fear are actually called Necrotri. Oh god, did I mess up the null form thing again? So sorry. So null forms basically protect the underbase and are also treated as parasites. Parasitic organisms, basically. And you know, that's kind of the whole gist, is they protect the underbase, which all things lead to the underbase. And if you even drive one node into a planet, that planet's gonna become a sun and then immediately become a black hole. Yeah. Also, the Cybernet Space Cube, or just Cyber Cube, is basically their version of TV. You know, it shifts aside, or it shifts aside. It shifts to a different side. God damn it. You get the general idea. When, you know, it wants to change channels, or they want to change its channel. So, yeah. And, also, god, brain fart. Oh, we're rolling. I was still working on the script for the next segment. Oh god. I shoved a bottle of ranch up my asshole. Meow. Oh. You know, Cybertronian semen is blue, but Cybertronian blood is pinkish red, and Energon crystals are blue, so are they just ejaculating microscopic crystals that seem to look like a liquid, or am I just going insane? When you think about it, what valve plug means pussy in Transformers, technically it's pussy plug, even though it technically should be aft plug, since, you know, aft is butt and aft. So aft plug. So really it should be aft plug when you really think about it, but I guess, you know, not everybody shares the same artistic qualities as me. I really need to understand what, oh, MPG 17 Optimus Prime, nice. Cool. Also, so, yeah, oh my god. MPG 16 Nucleus Core Super Convoy T-Spark. Why are you so fucking rad looking? Why? Why do you paint me so? Why you gotta do this to me? Kiloton and Megatron, okay. Hey, 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 hey,
3, 2, 1, go.
Also, when you really think about it, Alita, I know this may seem a little heretical, but I like when Alita 1 is a non-Autobot, kind of like in the IDW comics, where she's just kind of like a bad bitch who can absolutely rock your shit. And, you know, I just like when women destroy I think I have a problem.
You do not understand. I want Muscle Mommy Alito 1 to rip off my shoes.
La 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 la. Oh, la 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 la. Here we are in the future. La la la. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Bow 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 bow. Bow bow bow. As like for fire, more than you could ever know. Make a wish comes true. Oh yeah. No, when you really think about it, isn't pyrotechnics just legal bombs?
We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when. But I know we'll meet again. Some sunny day.
I'm gonna get some cash. I'm gonna get some flash in my cash. Gonna get some wow. Blow somebody up.
Well done.
Does that mean that I have blown someone? You know, when you really think about it, sanity is just a proposition of immortality, but technically it never was. When you really think about it, is anything even worth it? I mean, sanity is a very objective terminology. I mean, what really defines sanity? I mean, is it primorality? Or is it morality or immorality? What really defines sanity? The edges between the status quos and the universes is quite a thin line when you truly think about it. I'm gonna make myself some food. You know, frankly, I need some type of, like, lore audiobook that I can just record and then just shove into this, so that I do not have to, like, deal with recording all of this myself. So I am going to try and find something, and I mean something to do. No, that's but I'm not recording at several, like a half an hour, actually, worth of content
Go.
for this.
Let's get things started.
No, I will not do that.
I like cheeseburgers. I like cheese. And I like burgers. So when you really think about it, cheeseburgers are the only logical next step. Which means I am correct. Y'all are utterly stupid.
Oh hey, I found something that I can easily reuse since it was all blown. Wow. I really need to get back to having half an hour long more.
It was the Powered Commander, or as it was known at the time, the Deltax armor, and there was, the Magnus armor, or the Ultram armor. The Ultram and Deltax were brothers. Nobody knew who piloted these armors, but they knew that they were piloted by great Cybertronians. As no other colonies existed, this was the pinnacle of Cybertronian technology. But the Ultram armor saw much more heroic use than the Deltax armor, which shaped its personality as it grew. The Sparks used and consensually sacrificed in order to make these armors began to change. The Ultram armor found a more heroic spotlight, while the Deltax armor did not find such comfort. So, the two brothers slowly split as the armor influenced them. One became of a legendary hero, and the other became one of a scarlet villain. Somebody who was able to destroy whole cities. But then, one day, the Deltax armor was banished by the Ultram armor. The user and the user of the Deltax chose never to wear such armors again. The Magnum armor was kept only for projects of desperation, final acts to save Cybertron and soon other colonies, while the Deltax armor was left to rot, chained into a temple upon a large totem of Primus to try and exorcise the spirits out of the dominion of the armor. But it only made them more spiteful, more hungry, more hateful, to the point to where a god noticed, a dark god, Unicron's second in command, Ola Sorval, or, as Cybertronians knew him, the Darkness. The Darkness showed the Deltax armor and the souls in it a way of power. And then, Delta Convoy would stumble upon this armor, the once great, noble, and, quite frankly, would have been perfect for the armor's brother, stumbled upon this totem in the temple. He was part of an excavation crew, trying to uncover the old secrets of ancient Cybertron, since the Deltax armor and the Ultram armor both were stripped from humanity. They were stripped from the history books as well. But one thing that never changed was the spirits in the armor. They only grew. The Deltax armor was inevitably influential to Delta Convoy. Delta Convoy felt a calling and wore the armor against his better judgment. And then, with the power of that armor, he did what any Deltax wearer would. He slaughtered every single person, the armor then configuring to him, upgrading his already fairly strong body into something horrible. The current Delta Convoy cannot escape the armor, for the armor is part of him. Every speck is just the armor in hiding. Meanwhile, the Ultram armor was discovered by a young mining crew of the name Dion 1. So, just a little clarification. In my AU, the universe has existed for 200 billion years. So yeah, since this isn't our universe, this is a different universe. Like, it's like a completely different branch in the multiverse. So yeah, 200 billion years old. And for a Cybertronian, 1 year for them is 1 million years. So yeah. And just a little preface. That Cybertronian years is 1 million year per year. So if I say a century, that's 100 million years. But you know, so just a little preface. Just a little preface. So remember the preface. So, the Ultram armor was one of the strongest, most heroic armors, if not the strongest and heroic armor of the century it was made in. Remember, century is 100 million years. I almost said 1 million years. That isn't how that works in Cybertronian time. But, anyway, back to the important stuff, besides me, being mad at my own vernacular. It was actually a lot younger than the Deltax armor. The Deltax armor was, actually made, a few decades earlier. Hence why it incorporated sparks as consensual sacrifice to, create such armor, since they were fighting a crisis. So yeah. Remember, they were fighting a crisis, and sparks were sacrificed to make the Deltax armor. But, the Ultram armor was not. It didn't have any sacrifices. Remember that. And, they went to, the Ultram armor was sent on a mission with Nova Prime. That was, well, go to the dead universe. That's kind of, how it works. But, excuse me, then, sorry, I zoned out. Then, everything went awry, and, Nova Prime realized this maybe isn't a good idea to bring Cybertron's most powerful armor. So, you're getting in a pod, and we're launching you back to Cybertron. But you see, the calculations were off, so it actually landed on Cybertron's moon. Specifically, what would be known as Moon Base 1. The moon base. Which I'm also pretty sure is the first moon base to be eaten by a Unicron, so it's ironic that the Deltax armor, well, in my EU it is the first one, but I'm pretty sure in the G1 movie, it's actually the first moon to be eaten by Unicron, so it's funny that one of Unicron's subordinates infused the brother of that armor. It's funny to me. But anyway, back to the important stuff. Not me, being funny. Then the Ultram armor was stuck, and then the Dion crew, or the D crew, since in my AU they're numbered and labeled and stuff with words. They went, and Dion 1, or Dion, since, he was the first, so he doesn't need designation, found the armor. And, he was like, let me take this back to crew. And he was like, I should tell my good friend D16, or Dion 16, what I found. And they did. And they were curious, and they were like, We're mining bots. I mean, one casualty wouldn't really affect any of us, so why not hop in, Dion? And Dion was like, oh, D16, you know I'm not wise and smart like you. Come on. And he was like, I mean, looks pretty ancient, so, you know, you should hop in. I mean, you know, you were always the more delicate one out of the two of us. So, you know, Dion went in and then kind of got upgraded. And in this AU, Ultra Magnus was actually along a lot before Optronics / Orion Pax. So, remember that? So he kind of got the body first. Remember that? And he was like, this feels strong. But you know how I said it was banished? Yeah. They banished it on the moon where they landed. So my man was like, I must find the Deltex armor. This is too much power. And, you know, or well, you know, he needed to like converse with the user of the Deltex armor and realized, oh shit, you're evil now. And then basically pried the host out of it. And then they banished them far, far away, so Moonbase 1, Cybertronian Temple. I'm bad at explaining this, okay? Because I'm coming up with this lore on the spot, okay? So just bear in mind. And then, he came out, and then he looked like, Diaclone Optimus Prime, / you know, good old G1 Ultra Magnus. And thus for Ultra Magnus was born, and Dion was laid to rest. And then D16 was like, I feel like the Senate should have told us. And then him and Dion went to the Senate, they met Optronics, and that's a whole story for another time.
Under the radar. Well done. Victory imminent. There is 1 minute left. Defeat. Three, 2, 1, go. Let's get things started. We're losing the lead. Beacon captured. We have taken the lead. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's get things started. We have taken the lead. We're losing the lead. Incoming fire. We have taken the lead. Well done. First blood. Losing the lead. Well done.